So you probably understand that you need a privacy policy on your website, which is compliant with the law, and also a cookie banner that actually works. But how do you do that without becoming a technical genius and a lawyer at the same time? Well, this video is the answer, because in this video, I'm going to show you how to create a privacy policy that is compliant and also add cookie banners on your site without losing your mind. So let me show you how. Let's begin. So here's my beautiful WordPress website that I've set up just for this tutorial. And in this case, I'm going to show you how you can first create a privacy policy right inside WordPress. It's a feature built inside WordPress. You probably didn't know that. So let's go here inside WordPress settings. So you see here settings for WordPress, and inside here you can see a privacy button here. So let's click on that, and this will open up a specific privacy section which you might not have paid attention to. Now, of course, there's a settings part here, but there's also a policy guide. So let's go to the policy guide here, and the policy guide does what it sounds like. It gives you a set of instructions on what information your privacy policy should include. Now, the thing I want to highlight here is that, of course, you can click on this and let's say open this up, and you'll see a lot of different information which your privacy policy should have, but you'll also see information from policies, or basically a compliance or a guideline of all the different plugins that also require this thing, or basically should be part of your privacy policy. So you can see here it's for WordPress, and if you scroll down, we have WooCommerce, we have Lightspeed Cache, and the more plugins that capture information from users, payment information, anything else, they also need to be part of your privacy policy. But here's the fun part. If you go back and go to the settings, you can of course create a privacy policy right inside WordPress. But any information about the plugins or any third-party features that you're using will not be included in the privacy policy. So let me show you how. So first of all, you can either create a new page or use an existing page. So if you don't have any page created on your site, you can click the create button, and this will create a new page just for privacy policy on your website. And if you already have one, for example, right now the page is selected, but the privacy policy is not completely set up. So I'll just click use this page, and this will use this page, add all the relevant information, and set up the privacy policy for me. So let this finish. And now since it's finished, now we can check out the page directly and also edit it. So if I go here on the edit section, you can see here, or you can go to the pages section and edit the page there as well. If I right click, open it up in a new tab, you'll see one important thing here, which you might not have paid attention to if you already knew about this feature. All the text that the privacy policy will generate, or the WordPress feature generates, has suggested text on front, which we need to change if you're using or use this policy as is. So if you want to use this, you just have to go here, and wherever you click and you find the suggested text button, just click on it and highlight it and delete it. And you should do this for the entirety of the privacy policy so that it is compliant. And of course, you cannot have suggested text in a privacy policy. So that makes sense, of course. So by doing this, so of course, we have to change or remove all the suggested text from our website. But just for this demonstration, I want to show that this is something to keep in mind. And you'll also see here that there's no mention of third-party plugins and what kind of information they're capturing and what are the cookies for, and what information or how long is the cookie stored, which is important to have on your site. So how do you do that? And how do you also set up a cookie banner that actually works? Well, the simplest answer is by using WP Consent. So WP Consent is a WordPress privacy plugin that helps you do multiple things. It helps you create a cookie policy. It helps you create a privacy policy, well, technically, and also it is compliant with GDPR, CCPA, and a lot of different regulations. And the best part is it adds a cookie banner that is also technically compliant with the law. Most cookie banners, if you install them, just show a banner and nothing else. But that's not how compliance has to work. For compliance to work, whatever plugins you're using or whatever features you're using, for example, let's say the Facebook Pixel or Google Analytics, they cannot store any data on your user's computer before consent is given. So unless the user clicks the accept button, you cannot save data on users' computers. But most plugins don't just do that. So WP Consent is a plugin that completely complies, and I have demonstrated this in previous videos as well, literally opening up the inspect window and showing that how that information is saved. But the idea is that it'll help you create a cookie policy and also create a banner that will technically work, and also you can completely customize it. So there's a free version, there's a premium version. I'm going to highlight a couple of features differences, but let me show you how to use this by installing it on our WordPress website. So let's head back here, and I'll go into the plugin section on my website here, and I'll click add plugin. And this will open up the WordPress zip repository. And since the free version of WP Consent is available in the repository, all we have to do is just search for it. So I just search for WP Consent. and let it load or let it search. And now we see WP consent here. Let's click install now. Let's also activate the plugin. So when you install WP consent for the first time, you're going to see this kind of a setup wizard. Let's go through it and you'll see how easy it is to understand and comply with most things that you have to comply with. So let's get started. Click here. And what this will do is, this is the first step. This will help, or WP consent will run a scan on your website. And by running a scan, it will identify all the plugins using, what cookies do they set, and also kind of will automatically categorize them into marketing, essential, statistical, so that it can automatically create rules based on what features or plugins can store information without consent. Because, like, say, example, if it breaks the functionality of the site, it has to store a cookie. But let's say for the Facebook pixel, it doesn't have to add it before consent is given. So it'll automatically categorize information from plugins based on that. So let's scan our site here. I'll take a couple of seconds, let it finish. So as you can see, the scan is complete and 3 services were found which set 13 different cookies. So that's how WP consent helps you stay compliant, by automatically detecting which services set what cookies. Let's click OK. And now we can see that we have comments here, which is WP or WordPress native feature. We also have a WooCommerce source buster. So that's also here. But there's some other plugins that you might be using as well. So if you add more plugins in the future, and let's say you change new services, for example, you add the Facebook pixel or some other marketing pixel, remarketing or Google pixel, then that will be detected as well. Now, the free version of WP consent gives you the scanning option, but you have to do this manually. If you upgrade to the pro version, then one of the features in the pro version is that you can run the scan automatically every few days. So instead of having you to remember, or you having to remember that, hey, I have to run the scan because I installed 5 new plugins, you can do this automatically. That's one difference between the free version and the pro version. There are plenty of other features. So I'll add a link to the feature comparison page here in the description of this video. Go check it out. So now, since we have a first scan done on our site, what we can do is just auto configure. So if we click auto configure, WP consent will automatically set rules on, hey, these are the things that can set cookies and these are the plugins or services that cannot set cookies, and those real rules will be configured. This is how it saves you a lot of technical expertise, because it does the job for you. So let's click auto configure, select it, and it'll automatically configure the services, and now it's done. And now we can even customize our cookie consent banner here in the setup wizard. So we have a couple of options here. We have a long banner, which you can set here or here, and you have a floating banner, which you can set up in multiple locations. And you can see a preview here. So left top, left bottom, right bottom. I personally like the right bottom. So let's keep it here. And of course, we can customize everything on the banner as well. I'll show you that in the next step of the video. Let's click save and complete setup. So this will save the preferences for us. And basically, most of our job is already done. So now if you pay attention, inside WP consent's menu entry, we are inside the dashboard. And inside the dashboard, we see a couple of steps or few steps. So we have the website scan done. Cookie banner is already active on our site. Automatic script blocking, which is mandatory for compliance with most privacy law, is also enabled. And we have a cookie policy that we now need to create. So this is the place where we now will create a cookie policy and also add the cookie policy to our privacy policy as well, just in case. And I'm going to show you how to do that very simply. So let's click configure here on the cookie policy. And this will open up a process for the cookie policy or start the process. So now we have a couple of options here. We can select a page or find a page, and you can also create a new page. So since this is a completely blank site, this does not have a page specifically for cookie policy. So I'll just click here and this will create a new page for us for cookie policy. So let's do that. And now it's automatically selected that page as well. Pretty awesome. So let's click save changes. And now our changes are saved. Now we can also view this page. So if I open this, right click in this new tab and go here, we should be able to see our cookie policy right here on this page. So it's giving us all the information. It also linked to the privacy policy, and it's giving all the details about what cookies are being saved or will be saved on the site and what are they used for, which is important. So if we want to add this information directly, completely inside our privacy policy, we can also do that. Let me show you how to do that. So all you have to do is make sure to copy this shortcode, right? So instead of copying the complete policy, just copy the shortcode. I'll press Ctrl+C on my keyboard, and I will go back to WordPress settings where the privacy policy was. So if you go back here, you can also go to the pages section and find the privacy policy there. But let's go into settings and we'll go back to privacy. And inside the privacy policy, we'll edit the privacy policy and add this shortcode, which will automatically add the cookie consent or cookie policy to our privacy policy as well. So if you see here, or you remember, we clicked this edit button, right click, open a new tab. So this will open up our privacy policy edit page once again. And just to remind you, I haven't deleted all the suggested text. So make sure to do that before you push the changes live. All right. So when we go back here or on the end of the page, what we can do here is we'll just click around and we'll add a new block to the page. So in in case you haven't guessed already, we're going to add the shortcode block. So I'll press / and type in shortcode. So the shortcode block is now added. Let's go here and paste the shortcode here and we'll click publish and publish. So the page is now saved. Let's open the page again. And now we can see the privacy policy, but if we scroll down, we should be able to see the cookie policy here as well. So that's how you create a privacy policy that includes a cookie policy, which will dynamically be updated as long as you refresh the changes using WP consent on your website, completely compliant. So let's also check out the banner and how to customize the banner on your site. So going back here, I'll head back to the section inside WP consent. And you can see here, there's a specific section for banner design. So of course, you know what that means. We'll click here and we can go here and customize the banner. You can also make cosmetic changes, colors, typography, but also the behavioral changes, which buttons show up, how the settings look like, etc. So this is the first setting, which you already saw when we were using the setup wizard on how to add the banner. So you can change those around, long banner, floating banner, and modal in the pro version. If you go to the style option here, we can customize the colors and the backgrounds and the font styles. So if you want to look at this and be like, hey, how will my banner look like? How do I actually know? Do I have to go back to my site once again, refresh the page? Right? That's cumbersome. How do we make this easy? Just click the preview button here. So if you click preview, this is the preview of how your current banner looks like. So now we can make changes and see changes here in real time. So I'll go to the background color option here. And let me change the hue to something dark purple instead of dark blue. And now you can instantly see that the color is being reflected right here on the banner, which is shown here. I can change the font size to, let's say, 14 pixels. It now looks better in my opinion. We can change the button sizes to regular. That will make them bigger, or large, which may make them really, really large. So I'll stick with small. I'll make them completely rounded. I like this look better. And we can have the button style to outlined and also filled. I prefer the filled in this option. If I were using, let's say, a lighter background color, I would prefer or try out the different one. Now for accept background, I will come here and again, I'll change the hue to something else. Let's make it green, which is more suited for accept. And we can also change the cancel or reject background to, let's say, something red. So let's make it something like this. And this is a little too dark. But we can also change the font color. So I can make the font color slightly white so that it makes sense. And now we have basically customized the banner in just a couple of seconds. So let's click save, which will save our changes. And if you want to change the labels and the actual content and additional things, you can obviously go into the content section, which is where you can customize the text on the banner and everything else. For example, you can see here, we use cookies to improve, and it's the same text here. If I change this, or if I just delete this, I say click. So I just changed the text and you can see now the text instantly has changed on the preview. And we can make other changes as well. So you can move settings around. So example, I want to make the accept button right in the middle. I can do that. I can disable the button entirely if I want to. I can change the label. So instead of preferences, let's say I want to say settings, accept all, and then reject all. Let's say for example, right, something like this. So now you can see, you can make all these changes around. And you can also disable this. So example, you might give the users an option to close the banner without having to accept one of these choices. And of course, inside the preferences panel, you will have other things as well. For example, if user clicks settings, they'll be shown a bunch of settings that they can configure and everything. And everything that you need to customize inside that preferences panel is available here. So you can change the logos or change the colors, change the actual text and everything else, and add links to your cookie policy and privacy policy, and even add a logo here. So if you want to show your logo on the site here or on WP consent, the banner, then you can do that here as well. And by the way, this is all, we're doing everything without being a tech wizard or without being a complete lawyer who understands everything about how to use this feature. So that's how you do it. I showed you how to add a privacy policy and a cookie policy, how to add a actual working cookie consent banner on your site, which actually works, and then completely customize it without any technical skills. That's how easy it is with WP Consent. So make sure to check out WP Consent and the pro version of WP Consent. Both will be linked in the description and also in the pinned comment. And if you still have any questions about privacy policy, consent banners, anything else, the comment box is open. Otherwise, make sure to like this video, share this video with a friend, and also subscribe to our channel for more WordPress content. You're watching Yuvraj from WP Beginner, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.